What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Joe, just your average Joe. We are hanging out in the garage. We got lots of comments to cover, lots of comments. I haven't been around in a few days. Some stuff's happened, not a ton, but we'll catch up on everything. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. Actually, today's Wednesday. Having a wonderful Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. I haven't been on since like Thursday of last week. It's been like 5 days. Anyway, hopefully your sales are going well on eBay. Mine, I can only blame me because I'm not focused on eBay right now, as a lot of my videos lately have been kind of geared, and obviously I'm getting a lot of gaps in my videos and between videos because I'm not really focusing on eBay right now. I'm still hunting. I'm still getting things occasionally, not much. We did have a decent community yard sale that I hit up that I did okay at. So we'll cover that. Again, tons of comments. If you have not hung out with me before, I've been reselling full-time on eBay for about 8 years, give or take. But I've been buying and selling stuff on eBay since 2000. So long time. Been around a while. Appreciate everybody that's watching. I think we have more comments right now than we have had in a while. I haven't even looked to see how many views the last video got, but based on the comments, I'd say at least a couple hundred or a few hundred. But yeah, so let's go ahead and dive in and get started for the day. Again, today's Wednesday. My sales this week have been pretty dismal. Monday, I had like $107 worth of sales from over the weekend, which is crazy. So I only deposited like $380 for the week, all last week, which is nuts, which is very, very bad. If you've been with me before, you know my goal is $1,400 for the week or $200 a day on average. That's not been the case lately. I haven't been really stressed out about it or really caring much, because if you've been with me before, and if you haven't, I run another business, and that business is doing autographed football memorabilia, and so that business has been going pretty good lately. In fact, I'll do another plug real quick, so you'll see stuff like this. We're live on Facebook pretty much every night on Facebook. The group, if you would like to join, if you like football memorabilia, autographed football memorabilia, is BTG East Coast. But like, that's a custom Dan Marino breakthrough is what they're called, but it's a custom helmet. It's got that color changing paint on it with the orange signature Dan Marino. It's an authentic helmet with the visor on it, which is pretty cool. But anyway, I do football memorabilia on Facebook Live. I've been doing that for almost 7 years, going on 7 years. So just before COVID, 2018. So yeah, going on 7 years. So that business is going pretty well. It's a teeter-totter sometimes when this business, doesn't do so well. I pick up eBay and but obviously I don't have to. I don't necessarily have to hit goal on eBay if I'm doing good. If this side of the house is doing well, I don't necessarily have to, go crazy on eBay like I wouldn't say $1,400 a week is going crazy, but I don't have to focus. I'm sure the mic is on. I don't have to focus as much on eBay stuff if that business is going well, because that business is my bread and butter. eBay is kind of a side thing, full-time, part-time side thing that I've been doing for years. So that's what I do. So it's a teeter-totter effect. When one business does well, the other picks up. When one business starts falling, the other business picks up, or I have to pick up the other. eBay is easier to pick up than this side of the house. When this side of the house, just if we get more members, if we get more people wanting to play and hang out and buy stuff, then this side goes well. And that side, usually around summertime, that side of the business does bad because people aren't wanting to spend much money on that kind of stuff. They're out and about doing, summer stuff. And so eBay typically does better during the summer for me. So I focus more on eBay. So anyway, so that's that. Just to give you a little back end on what I do, and why eBay. I haven't been so focused on eBay is predominantly because my other business is doing well. And so I just let off the pedal a little bit. That's probably not the best thing, but that's why my sales have been like $350 for a week, which is atrocious. So far this week, we're still doing pretty bad. It's Wednesday and I'm only at like $200, but at least we're projected to beat last week. There's a plus. But anyway, let's go over just a couple things that happened on eBay, and then we'll jump into comments, then we'll jump into sales. As far as eBay goes, I had a customer reach out. I got new lights, by the way, a couple new lights. So I don't know if the lighting's any better, but so I got a negative feedback on something. Actually, I think I talked about the negative feedback, so we'll move on from negative feedback. I had a I had a customer reach out to me yesterday showing me a picture of a DVD that I sent out that it looked like a dog got to it. It was all chewed up and mangled. So I asked them, can you send me a picture of the packaging? And the packaging was all chewed up and mangled. So I was like, huh, okay. I was like, well, we'll need to, I'll have to have you submit a claim through the post office. And they'll send you a check as long as you provide that information. And then they were fine with it. Well, when they went through the process, I forgot that it was FedEx, and I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what they told me. They said FedEx. They said it's making me having the shipper do the claim. It's not letting me do it. I was like, okay, fair. I can go in and do it. Well, then I go into FedEx, and the first thing that I see when I plug in the tracking number is a picture of they take a picture of the DVD in the packaging sitting on the porch, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no it's not chewed up or anything. So I messaged them back and said, hey, unfortunately in this case, FedEx took a picture, and the dog must have got to it after it got delivered, which means there's no option to do an insurance claim at that point. It was damaged on the front porch by a dog from what it appears. And so unfortunately there's no way to do a claim, so I'm sorry for the inconvenience. They were actually pretty gracious and said, no problem, I understand, and then left me positive feedback. So it couldn't have went any smoother. But that kind of stuff, this is the first time I've ever had a package chewed up by a dog after it was delivered on the front porch. First time for everything. And then I don't know how I did this, but apparently like 2 weeks ago, I had somebody open up a claim for that they never received a Sega Genesis system. By the way, I'm under the weather a little bit. I got a cold going on and all that. So it's another reason why I haven't been on. But so don't mind me. And I was like, well, tracking shows delivered. I was like, so I submitted the thing through eBay showing that it was delivered and everything was good. eBay swung in my favor. It shows delivered. Everything's good. eBay closed the case down. Haven't heard anything from it since. Well, then I had somebody message me yesterday on the 1st and say, hey, I bought a Switch and I received a Sega Genesis. And I live in Alaska, and it just now delivered after 34 days. It delivered. And I was like, huh. So I look at the tracking and I'm like, yeah, it's been stuck in transit in Colorado for like 17 days before it had any movement on it. So they just received it, and so I put 2 and 2 together and was like, wait a minute, did I cross packages on accident? And sure enough, I did. So the Sega went to the wrong person in Alaska, and the Switch went to, let's just say Philly for the sake of argument. I don't remember where it was, somewhere up north. We'll just say Philly. So the Switch went to Philly, but it was supposed to be the opposite. So that's why the person in Philly was like, I never received my Sega. But they did receive a Switch, obviously, and they didn't tell me that. Or else I would have put 2 and 2 together 2 weeks ago when they filed the claim, or when they opened up the case saying they didn't get the Sega. So they did get the Switch. So I was like, I told the person in Alaska, I'll send you a label to return it. I don't have the Switch. It's my fault. Apologies. I'll issue the refund as soon as it hits the tracking. I would issue a refund when I get it back, but because it can take a week or 2 weeks actually, and regular ground advantage can take like 14 to 17 days. I told them, I'll go, and obviously it took 34 days to get to them because it got stuck in Colorado. I was like, my fault. I'll issue the refund as soon as I see the tracking update, kind of like Amazon. I'll treat it that way. I don't know. I wouldn't do that normally, but because this is a unique situation and it is my fault, I told them I'll go ahead and issue the refund once I see the tracking back. So they actually didn't open up a case, which is nice. I went ahead and sent them a label to their email this morning. They got it. They said, no problem. I'll get the label printed and I'll get it shipped out today. So beautiful. Don't have to worry about eBay, get dinged on my account or anything like that. So when I get the Sega back from them, or when the Sega updates and tracking, I'll give them their money back. Technically the money for the Switch. Well, I reached out to the customer that got the Switch, and I said, hey, obviously both of these customers are newer customers. Both of them have less than 20 feedback, so they're not on eBay a lot. So I reached out to the customer last night. They got the Switch that was supposed to get the Sega, and said, hey, I know what happened. I accidentally sent you a Switch instead of the Sega. If you would like your Sega, I just need you to send the Switch back, and I can go ahead and get you the Sega. I haven't heard from them since, or haven't heard from them yet. I think they only have 2 feedback, actually. I think the one in Alaska's got like 19 feedback. The one in Philly's got like 2 feedback. So I don't anticipate hearing back from the one in Philly. And obviously a Switch is worth more than the Sega, so they got a hell of a deal. So I'm going to be out about 100 and after shipping about $115 to $130. About $130, we'll just say. So that's shame on me. I don't know how I did that, but obviously even the most experienced can sometimes have a hiccup. That's the first time I've had that happen in years, literally years. So don't know how I got my paths crossed, my shipping crossed. I have no idea how that happened, but needless to say, that's the latest thing happening to me on eBay, which is totally my fault. But that's how I handled it, and luckily I won't get any dings on my account, no issues with returns, none of that. I'll just, I'm essentially handling it outside of eBay with the Alaska customer, and if the customer from Philly ever messages me back, which I doubt they're going to, I'll probably never hear from them, but if they do, then I'll just ask them to send back the Switch, and I can get them the Sega if they would like to do that. I probably wouldn't, because you can sell the Switch for $200 and buy the Sega again for $120. So you're in a better place keeping the Switch. I wouldn't reply either. So anyway, that's what happened. That's about all I got going on eBay. Self-inflicted issues. Not selling much is all me, and having a problem with the return, all me. It happens even to the best of us. So anyway, there's that. Let's go ahead and dive into comments. I haven't touched comments in a while. First one up is Mark. Mark says, I got my shit dropped to above average because I kept canceling lost items. Sucks. Yeah, anytime I do a cancellation, I always list it as customer requested every single time, so I don't get dinged. So that's the only thing I can give you, Mark, is use the different option. Worst that'll happen is the customer says, you used the wrong cancel option. I've had customers reach out to me and tell me that. I'm like, oh, technically I'm sorry, and that's it. Let's keep it moving. I've had one customer say they're going to report me to eBay for selecting the wrong return reason. Okay, sure. Go ahead and report me. So anyway, yeah, so that's all. The only thing I can tell you there. Replied on newest video. By the way, I'm switching to Metronet as well. If any of y'all have heard of Metronet, I've got Spectrum, and they've been atrocious lately because we have construction happening. We got a new bypass going up, and it's 80% done, but they're doing construction closer to my house. And to my understanding, their lines are getting, they've had to reroute lines and having issues with the lines being cut and or having to run on generators because they're all the construction that's happening. And so my internet just continues to go in and out, in and out, in and out for the past 2 weeks. So I finally this morning said it went out again this morning. I couldn't do my eBay packing. So I just was like, you know what? I'm going to go Metronet. Metronet's fiber. It's not cable, it's fiber. It's supposed to be better. Everybody around me switched over. They just came through our neighborhood a year ago, and half of my neighborhood is Metro now. Some of my family members are Metro. So, they're all swearing by it's so good, it's so good. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just bump it. I'm going to make the switch. Spectrum's been good to me It's been good to me since we've been in this house, when it was Time Warner Cable, and then it moved over to Spectrum. It's been great. I haven't had really any problems, but lately, and I understand it's due to the construction, but I can't be out of service, and I can't continue to have outages to the extent that we're having outages continuously, because I've not been able to go live at night on Facebook to do my football helmets a couple nights. Can't get up and do my packing and shipping because there's outages, because it's hit and miss. It's out for 2-3 hours, then it goes back on, and then it's out again, and then it goes back on. It's just anyway, so if any of y'all have Metronet, let me know how you feel about it. Wristwatch guy says, thanks for another great video. I just subscribed. I hope that you hit 1,000 soon. You definitely deserve it. It drives me nuts seeing teenagers acting like an idiot, all for nothing, and somehow reaching 500,000 subscribers. What the fuck? Exactly. You are not wrong. By the way, never walk past something thinking you can come back to it. I was at a estate sale or something similar where it seemed like the mom was moving moving in with her kids, and they were clearing out the house. I walked into the garage, spotted a 1/8 die-cast scale Corvette model in the box sitting on the shelf in the back. I thought I'll check on that after I look at these tools, but I got distracted. Well, another guy saw it, asked about it, and they told him it was like 20 bucks. He snatched it instantly. Later, I checked online and saw that it was going for well over 300 on eBay, with some NOS version hitting 500. I'm pretty sure it was the NOS too, but I never got the chance to verify before the guy took it. Lesson learned. You see something like it, grab it. You can always put it back later. Still can't believe I let the one slip. Just good advice for resellers. Absolutely. You nailed it. You're correct. If you see something, don't go to it immediately if something catches your eye. So yeah, that sucks that happened, but absolutely great feedback, and thank you, Wristwatch, for commenting. Reality smacks you. Yes, this is awesome. I remember her saying if anyone wants to go to the show to contact her Instagram, but I would think you could contact her on YouTube, especially on her Tuesday night live. She's always reads the comments. I only have YouTube, or I would send a message for you. Can't wait to see you on there. Well, Reality smacks you. I haven't put my butt in gear to reach out to her, but at some point I certainly will. It'd be nice to get out there a little bit, maybe hit 1,000 subscribers a little quicker, and that might help. Winston Wolf says at 410, please have the Garage Joe. Winston Wolf, throw me a lifeline because I am lost. Please have on Garage Joe. 410, please have. Oh, you're talking about have me on her episodes. Got you. Hey, I got to reach out to her to do it though. So that's the only thing. So I'll try to remember to do that. I agree. Buyers should definitely have a Reality Smacks You says follows up and says, I agree. Buyers should definitely have to contact the seller first to resolve any issue. 100%. That's probably the biggest thing I hate about eBay is before feedback is left. Like when you click negative, it should automatically refer you to contact the seller before leaving negative feedback. And there should be some sort of like AI smart. There should be conversation recognized by the system that there's been dialogue between buyer and seller before you're allowed to leave the negative feedback. Because it's terrible. Like you can just leave negative feedback without even getting in contact with the buyer. I mean, or the seller. It's terrible. So agreed on that one. Yeah, buddy. I think it's the first time Yeah Buddy has commented, maybe. Joe, I've heard you talk about the printing label out on time and not dinging your account if you don't ship in the situation several times now. And I thought I'd go ahead and mention to you that you are both right and wrong, as you can print the label out on time and then drop it off past the date you're supposed to, but the package somehow arrives later than estimated arrival window, and the shipper's official scan shows it being past the date you were supposed to drop it off, then you receive a ding. You're probably not wrong, but I will say that's rare because most of my packages are getting there. In fact, you're probably not wrong, but all my packages are getting there before the estimated delivery date. So I guess that's why I'm not getting dinged, because I haven't gotten dinged for doing it. To my knowledge, I don't look back and look at it often, but I'm still sitting like 99.7% ship rate on time. And I'm, so you're probably not wrong. In fact, you're probably right, but my packages are getting there on time. So therefore I'm not getting dinged. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but I appreciate the insight and the feedback. Yeah, buddy. Jonathan 006. I think this is the first time Jonathan has commented. That comment from the person about reusing packing is ridiculous. What matters is how secure the item is packed and if it arrives safely. Amazon always uses new packaging, and they regularly get broken items from them. Absolutely, man. You hit it on the head, Jonathan. That dude was a Yahoo. We'll just say that. If y'all were here during that time, that dude was a douchebag. We'll just say that. And you're absolutely right. These are used items. Who cares if they come in a reused packing material, as long as they're packaged appropriately and they arrive safely. Anyway, but yeah, he was definitely and then for the fact that he compared me to Louis Vuitton, because he buys his wife Louis Vuitton purses and they come in fancy packaging, and that certainly helps your business, or can hurt your business if you're not shipping in and new packaging. And I'm like, man, you are such a apples and oranges there, bud. Apples and oranges. Not even close to the same thing, man. We're not Louis Vuitton here reselling used items on eBay. So You know, and we're not high end fancy. You know what I mean? Like this is eBay used items. So anyway, um, could literally survive between let's see items. I may use reuse packaging, and at the same time could literally survive being thrown off a 2-story roof. I'm better at packaging than Amazon on every object. And yes, absolutely. Same. I am better at packaging than Amazon. Amazon is terrible. Look, my thing is the shake test, man. Shouldn't be shaking around. You get stuff from Amazon all the time that's shaking all over the place. And yes, damages. Morgan Horde. I think this is the first time Morgan has commented. Morgan says, yeah, I feel like I am getting pinched by eBay. Only a third of my views are promoted, but over 90% of my sales get tagged for promoted sale. I think something shady is going on. It's eBay's being eBay. That's all I can say. It's definitely weird. But Morgan, thank you for hanging out and commenting. I wish my lighting was a little better. I feel like my lighting is not very good right now, but I got a new light. Does this being in the way matter? I don't think that's going to matter much. Probably not. All right. Anyway, next one up is Phantom. Appreciate you commenting as always, Phantom. Phantom says, watch out for the pollen. I use Claritin for full force. Block out the shit. Sounds like you need to do some blocking of eBay trolls. That buyer probably broke the DDR pad. Yeah, right. And the horrible reaction time, faulting and them to fail at dancing. Exactly. Why eBay shortchanging its sellers? New management. Vote for a Holy Grail video game collection. Vote for, you know, if I could display all my video games, I would do a Holy Grail video game collection. The problem is all my video games that are in my collection are sitting in bins. That's my problem, is they're all sitting in bins because I don't have enough room upstairs because it's basically turned into my workspace. So I got no room. My wife is not letting me put any more shelves downstairs to put games or anything in. So anyway, but yeah, pollen is rough. I think my cold is, my wife thinks it's just allergies, but I don't really have allergies. I've never really had allergies, but my wife, pollen has been probably the worst it's been in years this year so far, and we're not getting much rain, so it's not washing out like it normally does. But I think I've got an actual cold because my daughter had a cold, and now I'm feeling like trash. But I'm sure the pollen is not helping. So anyway, Steven, appreciate you commenting as well, Steven. Hey, Joe, look forward to seeing you on Didbit. My eBay this month was the best ever. I've been playing with doing sales and promoting, and seems to help. Thanks for the video. Well, Steven, you know, my plan and execution are two different things. Plan is to go on Didbit, but am I going to execute and actually do it? I don't know. At some point, possibly, yes. So if I do, hopefully I see you on there. Absolutely. I'm glad your eBay is going well, because mine isn't, but it's my fault. So I can't blame anybody but me right now. I got to look at this guy in the mirror and be like, you got to list more. I was supposed to list stuff this morning. It's already 1 o'clock. This is as far as I've gotten. I had a decent night last night for my football helmets. So it just kind of goes back to, you know, if I don't have to do it, then I'm not necessarily going to do it. So obviously that's kind of a lazy way to go. But anyway, I do need to get on eBay, because my wife even said the other day, you got way too much shit laying around and you need to get that shit up on eBay, because it's just sitting around, and it's just, your upstairs is like a video game. Y'all seen it. If y'all seen the video that showed my upstairs, it's gotten worse. If you could believe it or not, I've gotten added probably 10 more systems up there, and it's just crazy. So anyway, because I keep buying, but I haven't been putting the shit up that I need to, like I need to. So anyway, Craig says, as soon as you get promoted listings, you need to end it, then sell similar on those items so they aren't technically listed as the same listing. Well, that'd be easier said than done, Craig. The problem is when you do like 400 of them, I'm not trying to go back and cancel and relist them. So if they're sitting in somebody's box for 30 days and I get dinged with a promoted listing because it was still sitting in their inbox from when the promoted listing was active, I'm just going to have to eat it, because I'm not going back and ending and relisting a bunch of items. It's just not happening. It's not worth my time. Although that is a good strategy to do that about once a quarter, maybe twice a year, to go in all your listings and end them and sell a similar. That's not a bad strategy. I did get a boost in sales when I did that, but Yeah. Echo or Echo Easy Chaos. Jeez, I can't read, man. Jesus. Easy Chaos. Appreciate you commenting. Easy Chaos says, excuse me, the shop where I work, we sell parts on eBay. If I'm not mistaken, if a customer clicks on promoted listing, but they don't buy it, then buys an item that was never promoted, you still get hit with the ad fee if it's in 30 days. eBay is just online version of a pimp. Well, they told me it was if it was a promoted and they added it to cart and it's sitting in their cart, it's good for 30 days at any point if they check out within 30 days of adding it to their cart after you end your promotion, basically. So I don't know about any other items. They didn't tell me any of that. They just said any item that you're promoting, once you end the promotion, if it's in their cart from when the promotion was active, then it's 30 days after, they'll still charge the ad fee, because the way they look at it is they wouldn't have added it to their cart and if it wasn't promoted. And so therefore you're going to pay that promoted fee, which is bogus. Absolutely terrible in my opinion, but that's, yes, eBay can do what eBay wants to do. All right, next comment. No, we got quite a few comments coming from what's on my shelf. So first of all, what's on my shelf? Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for commenting. I'm gonna try to tackle all of your comments. You did quite a bit of commenting, and I super appreciate it. First one says, I'm a little into this video, and I will comment some more. But eBay's official policy in the 90s had the line caveat emptor, which is old adage that means buyer beware. It was much more Wild West then. Absolutely. Macari is more on the side of the seller. The middle happy place on eBay is about 10 years ago, just before forced arbitration. I also use the clout and call eBay. I also use my clout and call eBay customer service to call out bad buyers and have the decision founded in my favor. However, I always wondered whether eBay just funded both the seller and the buyer, refunded both the seller and the buyer. A lot of times they refund both if you're trying to get yours back, from my understanding. Yeah, it was definitely Wild West back then. Back when I first started, like 2000 was when I started my account with eBay. It was crazy back then compared to how it is now, for sure. And it wasn't so customer focused basically until they went public with PayPal, and they merged with PayPal and went public, which would have been probably mid 2010-ish, give or take. But anyway, yeah, you're definitely not wrong. So at 1615, what's on my shelf says, don't promote listings. Use better practices like good titles, pictures to attract buyers. Buyers are ready to pay when they are ready. Everyone is tight on their cookie budget nowadays. Most people would rather pay rent than buy an Xbox controller. You're not wrong there. I'm in favor of promoted listings. I always see a jump in sales when I promote listing. Typically, the last time not so much, which is weird, but normally I see a boost because your stuff gets highlighted at that point. So, you don't get lost in the shuffle, especially if it's an item that there's a lot of competition on. Yours gets highlighted, but to each his own when it comes to promoted. I'm an advocate for promoted. I don't disagree with better pictures and, better description and better item categories and item, whatever it's called, your item descriptions that you put in, the little drop downs and all that kind of stuff. But still, I think promoted can certainly help out. Does I'm not saying think. Promoted does help a lot as well. I typically go 5% though. I'm not trying to give eBay the recommended like 14% or some bullshit. I went aggressive and at 9% for like 3 days, and I didn't get much. I didn't get anything more than I would have gotten going 5%, I feel like. So I ended it pretty quick. At 2050, what's on my shelf says, as stated in the previous comment, people are holding back on purchasing. It's not you, it's not eBay or anything, or any other platform. There are articles about how eBay is failing to meet sales projections. Silicon Valley is always way too optimistic. There are plenty of articles which show households restricting budgets on unnecessarily spending, such as snacks, subscriptions, going out, etc. The best you can do is list more. It's like throwing more lures in a pond. That's a great analogy. That you are not wrong. That's why I don't have a lot of lures out in the pond right now, and it's shame on me. That's why I said I can only point at this guy because I'm not putting up all the stuff that I have that I'm just sitting on, which I could, which would help my sales, and and then you get more people through your store, and then you get more sales from other things because you got more eyeballs on your store. It all helps the wheel, but if you're not putting stuff up like me, which I've been kind of anyway, I've already said it. I'm just not focused on it as I should be. But more lures in the pond, the right item at the right time at the right price. You're working hard. Work harder. I don't think it's your fault. For me, it's my fault because I'm not throwing enough lines out. 100%. I'm not listing enough. I mean, if I list 20 items in a week, it's like, whoa, where I used to list like 100 items in a week. So, but I was selling a lot more. I was selling a lot more items because I was putting up a lot more items. And that's just like you said, more lures, more poles out in the water kind of thing. So in this case, for me, it's me. I'm not just, because again, I'm focused on my other company more because we're moving more helmets. I have more business there, more eyeballs, more focus, more money going through there. So that's where my focus is. Teeter-totter. When that starts losing steam come summertime, trust and believe I'll be working harder and getting up more shit up on eBay because I got to make up the difference, basically. But anyway, don't think it's your fault. There are plenty of ignorant people who will blame eBay. Ignorant is a kind word. That means they don't know or consider the economy. Sorry. You're not wrong. 100%. Economy has something to do with it for sure. I don't disagree there. I do disagree with part of it is there's more focus and eyeballs and attention in other platforms. There's more, the younger generation is on the newer platforms like your TikToks and your whatnots and your Macaris and this kind of stuff, so they're catered to a little bit younger crowd. The live selling platform, maybe it's a better place to another place where, not maybe, but that's another place where eyeballs and attention is going, no matter how old or young you are, is live selling platforms. Again, like the ones I mentioned, and Didbit, and there's quite a few others. So there's less focus. Plus, Amazon is a monster. Amazon's always been the biggest competitor. But there's a lot of stuff you can't get on Amazon that you can get on eBay, especially when it comes to used items and getting them for a pretty good price. But again, it goes back to I 100%. I'm not going to even say feel 100% fact that attention is being taken by other platforms, and that's another reason why eBay overall, not to say everybody is getting hit by it, but overall, eBay is not as successful as it once was because there is more attention in other places, especially live selling platforms. I mean, you scroll on TikTok now and there's shit all over your feed. Now, is it used items? No. So it depends what you're selling. But Whatnot is, and like Didbit and Macari and Poshmark, and I don't even know the rest of them, but there's a few others that I'm leaving out. I'm sure that the live selling platform is where people like to be, and that's where a lot more attention is going. And I think it's going to evolve more. I know eBay starting live has done some live selling stuff, and you can, I guess, apply to do live selling on eBay. But anyway, I would say that's certainly another thing. Is there's just imagine if those platforms weren't around, there'd be more attention on eBay. I mean, it's just how it would be. But there is more attention other places, even if 10% or 15% is in other places. That's going to impact eBay. And that's going to impact people selling on eBay, like your average Joe. I'm not complaining because I ultimately look at me, but those are factors that are beyond my control, and I can't do anything about it other than sell on Didbit or whatnot if I choose to do that, which at some point down the road I probably will. Maybe do like one show a week and just hammer it out and get rid of some things at cheap. Things have been sitting around my store for a while on eBay. Just dump them and get rid of them. At least get my money back out of them. It's better to have some cash flow and get your cash back out. Maybe make a couple bucks or break even versus shit just sitting on your shelf and you don't have any cash flow out of it. So you got to look at it that way. And as a business standpoint, like I'd rather have some cash flow out of this and try to break even or make a couple bucks and have some cash flowing to be able to buy more better stuff. Because you don't always hit the home runs and you have stuff that sits on your shelves for months and months and months, if not a year or two. It's like, just get rid of that thing. Let somebody else have it and see if they can sell it. And, you know, let me move on, at least get my couple dollars out of it and keep moving. Anyway, I'm rambling, but there's that. At 2832, what's on my shelf? By the way, what's on my shelf? Hopefully you subscribed and appreciate your input on all this stuff. Says, this is a tip which may help your listings. Add promotions which cut customers a discount when they purchase multiple items. eBay promotes those listings more than even items from your store with the same promotion or fee or free when you view the item. You do not have to pay for this. It's small margin that can help. More people use promoted, the more it boosts your search. Mysteriously, sometimes the promoted shows up in the search with your listing, but buy 5 and get 5 off, for example. But sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why this happens. eBay should show it because it promotes sales and hence their take in the final sale price. Good call. Definitely something worth trying, that's for sure. I don't have a whole ton of items that are like the same type of items, so I don't have a lot of those options to do buy free and get $5 off. So I don't have a lot of that kind of stuff. Obviously that would work for bulk items if you have a lot of one item. So yeah. Next one up, what's on my shelf also says at 2935, you can get dinged on late shipment for labels that are not shipped with patience. I'll explain. As long as your package arrives within an estimated time window showing to your buyer varies by region, you will not be dinged. If it arrives late, the system can ding you if there aren't any outstanding delays due to weather, strikes, loss. The system will check on the package is scanned. If the scan is late, it determines you ship late. It doesn't matter if your package arrives on time. It's kind of like the retrospect promoted sale example you brought up earlier with the eBay's system will check the buyer and add the item to their cart, irrespective to when you stop promoting. So that one I'm going to have to say I could tell you I don't get dinged. Now I can see if it arrives late that I'd end up getting dinged, but I do it regularly and I'm still sitting at 99.7. So all I can say is based on my experience, I can ship it the next day. Even if it's supposed to ship today, I do my label today, I still ship it out tomorrow. Just like whoever else said before, as long as it delivers on time, you're fine. But if it delivers late, then you could get dinged. And that may very well be true. But from my experience, I'm just saying I haven't gotten dinged, and I do it regularly. Like regularly, I ship stuff out the next day. Like all the stuff from Monday that was supposed to go out on Monday didn't go out till yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday, right? Yeah, today's Wednesday. So all the stuff from Monday, because I was in Savannah, I didn't get back till Monday afternoon. All of my items over the weekend that were supposed to ship on Monday, all actually got labeled Monday, but didn't ship or scan until Tuesday. And I assure you, none of them, unless I guess they deliver late, none of them are going to ding my account negatively as late shipment. I only had 4 items that shipped out, so I can check it pretty easily. But I can in like 2 weeks follow up on those items and confirm that with you. But I promise you that one I'm going to say, in my experience, not the case, is all I'm going to say. So anyway, but I appreciate the input. Obviously, the goal is not to ship anything out late anyway, but life happens. You got kids, you got whatever going on. Sometimes, as long as I get that label on that day, I have not had any problems with it negatively impacting my account. You ship on time, but it arrives late, you're okay. You ship late and arrives on time, you're okay. If you ship late and arrives late, then it counts against you. There you go. That's a great way to put it. Jonathan, thank you. And that's exactly, they determine the actual scan when the late delivery. You're pretty good about getting things out within a day or two. You ship, you should be okay. Perfect. I think we're all on the same page there. Luckily, in my case, 99% of the time, it arrives early or on time. So I guess that's why I'm not getting any dings and everything is gravy. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I appreciate both y'all's insight there. Next one up is same thing. What's on my shelf says, I'm surprised eBay allowed you to list modded OG Xbox. They tore mine down immediately. I do see them listed and wonder why my problematic listing got flagged while others remain. It's just like medical devices. Like sometimes you list a medical device and it stays up and it gets bought, and other times you put them up and they get flagged right away. It's the AI. It's the wording. It's the category. I don't know why. I've sold other modded game systems and they've stayed on. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to roll with it. It's still up, so we're going to roll with it. I don't recall my listing stating free games. However, eBay gives you a freebie for takedown reason. Repeat violations can result in suspension or cancellation of your account. I don't want to retry because of this. They are problematic items, which I've learned hit the censors. Some of these items are odd since they do not hurt anyone, or there definitely is a market, such as war paraphernalia. Yeah, I would say like the game guy. Is it the game guy? I sold that and it didn't get flagged while everybody else has got flagged. That was another controversial sale that I had that it stayed up. I've sold medical devices. I've had them taken down. Typically, and I've had this happen, typically eBay will suspend your account for, if you keep putting the same item up over and over and over, eventually it goes to a person and not AI, and then they usually suspend your account for 24 hours is the first like real slap on the wrist. Then I think it says after that, the next time you do it, it's like 72 hours. And then if it happens a third time, that gets manually reviewed, then they can cancel your account basically at that point. So as long as it's just the AI taking you down, you should be fine. I mean, obviously some people don't want to take the risk. I've taken the risk because I got 2 accounts. I can always start another one if need be. My wife's got an account. If I got worst case scenario, I could start putting stuff up on her account. But either way, I'm a little riskier than others. So I usually try 2 or 3 times until I get that warning that says the next time you get a 24-hour or manual review or something like that. But typically the first 2 times or so, AI is the one that knocks you down. And so as long as it's just AI, you're good. But anyway, again, I know people don't want to take that risk. So Jonathan says, good call. Don't relist it. Usually if eBay pulls something and you are in good standing, they will just pull it and just give you, tell you not to relist it and penalize and don't penalize you for it unless it's illegal or something. Usually people get in trouble when they relist something that was pulled. I'm going to say not the case. I've done it. I've pushed the envelope. Like I said, I've been suspended for 24 hours before. So I'll just say that. So, but I don't recommend anybody doing it because that's me and that's my risk and the risk I'm willing to take. Because I have other avenues if my shit does get shut down that I can lean on. I only relist once after making sure with customer service the particular item I was selling was restricted and not original ban. I had been very creative in my titles, but found that sold shortly afterwards. The robots scan listings for keywords. They do, and they will send you the notification afterwards as well that you sold something you weren't supposed to, and that happens too. Yes, absolutely. We have a few more comments, and then we'll be wrapped up. We'll get to sales. Luckily, I only have a couple. Amazon sucks. I love the username. Amazon sucks. Thank you for commenting. And what's on my shelf? Again, thank you for your insight and commenting. You should so Amazon sucks says you should ask for a revision on that unhinged review from the new eBay buyer. This is an easy one since it's over the 30-day return period. It's not worth even engaging with the buyer at that point. Subscribe. Amazon sucks. Thank you. You're not wrong. I should call eBay and see about getting it reversed. I just haven't gotten that far yet, but I usually do call eBay, but that one I just kind of gave up on. I don't normally, for folks that watch me regularly, they know I don't give up. But that one I just feel like, fuck it, man. I'm still at 99.6 or 7, like whatever. But you're not wrong. I probably should call them just to see. It's just last time was such a pain in the ass to try to get stuff updated and removed. Bobby Yawley, appreciate you commenting. I think this is your first comment with me. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully you subscribed. Hopefully all of y'all that haven't subscribed has subscribed. That's the best way to support the channel, especially if you're watching this long. Lots of comments. We've got a few more and we'll be done. And luckily I only have 4 sales, so I should be able to wrap this up in about 7 minutes or so. I buy a lot of stuff from eBay, but have never been on the other end of selling on eBay. So with that being said, here's my experience. I buy several things a week, and every now and then I get something that is not right or I never got it at all. If you send a message to the seller and explain what's going on, it's like they are not reading what you're saying because they'll send you back a message that doesn't align with what you were trying to tell them. Do buyers not read the message and let the computer read the response? It's kind of what it seems like to me almost every time I have an issue. I want to be fair and honest when I buy something, when I buy or sell something, but it's getting hard to get any kind of straight answers from people on eBay. Just my thoughts. Hopefully this message makes sense and you can shed light on it. Great video, by the way, and keep up the good work. eBay never, I buy a lot of stuff on eBay. So all I can say is there is a lot of like drop shippers and like people that don't give a shit, and kids, I'm just going to say it, younger folks that sell that don't give a shit. I can't really speculate on people's customer service skills. I can say that overall you're not wrong. I've found that there's been more folks that just don't reply or don't reply properly to your messages if you're a buyer and have a problem. All I can say is yeah, I don't really know what to say there. I take pride in my store. I take pride in my eBay. I take pride in shipping the right stuff out and getting a good review and providing a good experience. And there's less of me than the other side of the coin. So all I can say is look at feedbacks. If they got hundreds of thousands of feedback, they're probably some sort of drop shipper or just, a large merchant that doesn't give a shit. I've had that happen, and they don't reply to messages a lot of times because they don't have anybody sitting behind the eBay thing. They just ship. As soon as they get an order, they just ship. They don't care about fallout, So that's, I don't know. I mean, that's the best I can. If anybody else wants to chime in on that comment, please do. That's the best I got for you is really, look at your actual sellers. Maybe go in and look at their, like I've got a profile thing set up where you can read about me a little bit, that I'm just your average Joe, that I've been doing this for years, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a million feedback, but I got enough feedback, or several thousands. So that I'm legit. I got great reviews. You look at the feedback and you see the good reviews on the feedback. Not to say that people that don't reply aren't going to have the same things going on. And so you don't know who's good and who's not as far as if you have a problem when it comes to buying. So, those are just a few things I can kind of pinpoint at. If anybody else, again, wants to chime in on that. But that's the best I got off the top of my head. So, yeah, wish I could give you more on that one, Bobby. But do appreciate you chiming in. Hopefully that helped a little bit. And yeah, thank you. Hopefully you subscribed and enjoy enjoy this video and the response. Hopefully it kind of helps. Next one up is Pibazor. We got 3 more comments and we're done. So Pibazor says, "Hey Joe, it's Sam again. I keep forgetting it's Sam, so forgive me. I'm probably going to be Pibazor for a while. But Sam, I didn't know whether to thank you or be annoyed at myself for not thinking to check into the fees on my orders. That $4 fee you got for the promoted listing that had ended, but was in the customer cart is some bullshit." Yeah, right. Since you said that, I have been checking my fees. I have about 20 to 25 sales since the video. So far, I have had 3 BS fees. 2 times I got charged $2 for someone who had their account registered for a foreign country, Colombia, Argentina, but live and had their order shipped to Florida. Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Those were international orders. It was sent to their residential address. Then one time it was my fault, I guess, but also bullshit. They do this. Absolutely. I didn't have to check a little closer on that. That is kind of BS. I got an order on Poshmark before I got an order on eBay for the same thing. So I canceled the item being out of stock and sent the buyer a message. I no longer had the item, yet eBay charged me $1.50 still for the final value fee. Not worth calling someone, and I can't understand at this point, but if I get over $5, I'm going to call and deal with it. Great videos always. Love the idea of mapping out the circles in your yard sales. Happy hunting. Absolutely. Look, never cancel them for item out of stock either, because that dings your account, man. I know what people are going to say, but that's what you need to do if you are out of stock and you sold it somewhere else as customer request. I'm going to keep it moving. Because once you message the customer and say, "Hey, accidentally, it was sold on another avenue. Would you like me to cancel it?" They're going to say, "Yeah, cancel it." So then it does become customer request, right? Aha! Aha! So I just do customer request. If they want to bitch and complain, there's not a lot they can do. You know what I mean? So call eBay on me for that petty thing. Go ahead. I don't care. Anyway, that's me. That's why I'm a little bit more risky, I guess. I don't know. Ayo Gusto, you can't fix stupid customers. Ayo Gusto, you are not wrong, sir. Ayo Gusto, appreciate you hanging out and commenting. Toledo Jeeper, I think this is the first time you've commented. I buy Very few items on eBay anymore. I don't sell on there anymore since their fees are outrageous. I'm just going to say, first, thank you for commenting. Hopefully you subscribed. Everybody's fees are high for selling. Everybody's. So I can't agree on that at all, because no matter where you sell, unless it's like, I guess, Didbit and some of these small platforms, if any of the bigger platforms, you're going to get hit with fees 10, 15%. You know, Amazon's crazy high, whatnot, TikTok, they're all stupid fees. You know, it's all about, because you got more eyeballs, you got more attention. So you're going to pay up. You just got to make sure you source at better margins and get better deals to absorb those fees. But Toledo Jeeper, I appreciate you commenting and hanging out. And the last one, Mark says, what are you going to do with the truck if it hails? Mark, I'm so lost. Throw me a lifeline on that. I mean, did I say something about my truck? I don't even remember. You got to give me some more meat and potatoes there. If it hails and my truck gets hail damage, then it is what it is. I call the insurance and we file a claim. I don't know what to tell you there. I'm not sure where that comment came from, but that's all I got to say about that. So that's what's happening. Anyway, so real quick, before we get into sales, I had 5 sales for $256.87. I'll pull those in a minute. That's between yesterday and today. So not bad. I hit goal. Obviously, that's with taxes and shipping and all that. So I'm after, fees, taxes, and shipping, I'm just under goal. But that's not bad. $256.87. So we'll pull those in a minute. When I went yard sailing, I did a big community yard sale. It wasn't that great, but I did end up picking up a great deal for $100. I got a new Nintendo 2DS XL, which, if you know, the new one is like from 2017, and it's actually the new Nintendo DS XL 2DS. That's the name of it. Anyway, it has a broke screen on top, so I'm going to fix that. But I got that. I got a DS, a regular DS. I got a Game Boy Advance. Both working, both fine. Hinge has to be fixed on the DS, which I've done that before. And then I got Pokemon Gold, Soul Silver, and Y, and Omega. That whole bundle, that was the best bundle I got all day. I didn't really buy much, but at Power of the Ask, I ask at every yard sale, and this was a huge, like 40 house community sale. This was the only house that I got a hit on, where the guy was like, yeah, I actually do have some video game stuff. Let me go grab it. And he grabs it, and we make a deal for $100. So I think that was a great deal. Soul Silver alone, I think, is over that. But obviously there's some tinkering, some fixing, some purchasing I got to do to fix some of the stuff. And so, yeah, it was definitely a good deal, I think. But outside of that, nothing much to share as far as what happened at the yard sale. I was quick Saturday because we left to go to Savannah Saturday afternoon. So I went to the one community sale. I was there for 2.5 hours. That was like the only thing. I picked up a couple other things. A Cobalt charger for like $1. They sell for like $20. I picked up a backpack for like $1. They sell for like $20. I got a Wii system only for $3. It powers up. It works. Luckily, I got all the cords, cables, controllers to go with it. So that was a pretty good score. I mean, I'm only going to sell it for like $50, $60, but still for $3, not bad. And I have all the stuff for it. I think that's about it. I did 4 Xbox One games for $1 a piece. They weren't anything special. They were more to just bundle with an Xbox One when I get one, because I come across them regularly. And so that's about it. It was pretty dismal for 40 houses. It was pretty dismal. And I was there at 7:30. It started at 8. So I was there early too. And it was not that great. I hate community sales. Have I said that before? Community sales, in my experience, suck. That's all I got to say about that. All right, let's go ahead and start pulling orders real quick, and we'll be done for the day, or at least with you guys, and then I will get the stuff packed for my mail lady. First thing sold, which is covered. Hopefully my customers don't get mad at me. Covered with pollen is a pair of black Rocky boots, Alpha Force. They're kind of covered with pollen. I'll dust them off a little bit, but that's the problem with pollen season, is everything gets caked. Fun time. All right, so those sold for $30 plus shipping. If I remember correctly, I think I picked them up for $5. Two PlayStation analog, PS1 analog controllers. So for $19 a piece plus shipping. $19 a piece plus shipping. So just your old school. There's 2 separate orders. But those sold. Let's see. Next one up is a used. I just got this in a bundle from the old man with the Xbox, modded Xbox that I don't know if you can see that or not, but it was a white Xbox in shit condition. I didn't even power it up. I don't even care because it was cracked in the front. As you can see, it's all cracked right there. It's been dropped. The top of it's janky and nasty, just nastiness. Didn't test it, didn't power it on, nothing. Just put it up for 20 bucks plus shipping. Somebody snatched it. I just put this up last week. So there's that, $20 plus shipping out of here. Parts and repair, let somebody deal with it. And the last thing that sold, and then we'll let you guys off, is a Nintendo 64 for $105. Nintendo 64. Man, these things are getting dirty. Blue controller right here. Man, that's got so much pollen on it. Nintendo 64 with the blue controller, some games, sold for $105. I know it's a little hard to see, but N64, 2 controllers, 1 third party, and like 4 games, sold for $105 plus shipping. So there's that. I'm gonna get the stuff packed up so my little mail lady won't get mad at me when she circles back around. And that's all I got for you guys. Obviously, the videos, I'd like to keep them around 30 to 40 minutes. This one's longer because we had a ton of comments to cover. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Make sure if you've lasted this long, you subscribe. That's the best way to support the channel. If you have any questions, drop them. I love answering questions. I love going over questions. I love y'all's feedback and y'all's questions about how to, or just give me some insight from your perspective. So that's all I got for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see y'all hopefully tomorrow if we have some sales. If not, Friday. Hopefully between now and Friday we have some sales. So my plan is to put stuff up, but we know how that goes. So enjoy the rest of the day, everybody, and we'll see you later.